Hey guys, welcome to the Wednesday Cardone University Mastermind. My name is Steve Sprague, coming to you live from the 305. Guys, welcome back here. Every Wednesday we do this show. We do it live because we know that masterminding is one of the most successful actions. Talk to anybody who's successful. Talk to the Grant Cardones of the world. Talk to the Warren Buffetts. They've all got their successful friends. They've got their successful groups. The business owners at your company, you probably see them go off. They do performance groups. We do this show for you so that way you guys have a place to come to talk about what's successful, what's working, and then how to get to the next level. So if you guys brought a pen and paper, you definitely want to do that because you want to take some notes on this call. We're going to cover 3 different tips today, 3 ways to maximize the usage on this program. So we've got a lot of different people that pull this program out. I'll personally tell you that I've helped this program get set up into over 1,000 companies myself. This company has done over a couple thousand. So I've had a lot of different companies say, hey, we want to try it this way, or we want to do it that way. We've got a very specific recipe that works, and anytime I've seen anybody do a different variation of that recipe, they have not gotten the results that what we're talking about. So I just wanted to debunk any myths that you might have, people telling you that 2 segments per day is going to get you the success you want. I want you to do this right now. I want you to literally write down something you do for 2 minutes every day that makes a difference in your life. Okay, nothing. Okay, you probably brush your teeth a couple times a day. If you only brush your teeth once, it probably doesn't even work for you. Okay, if you brush your teeth multiple times throughout the day, it probably works for you, right? So you want to think about, look, you're just watching 1 or 2 videos per day. You're not getting enough done. Just call it what it is. Okay, I'm not going to do any fluff on this show. If you're watching less than 6 segments per day, you're just not doing enough. So 6 segments every day is going to be the recommended formula. Okay, I know what you're thinking right now. You're like, oh, but I want to do 4. But if I do 4, does the 4 work? No, 6 segments per day, dude. If you're doing anything less than 6 segments per day, I want you to bone up. Really. Think about what opportunities you have available in the marketplace and think about how well you're working on your skill every single day. Okay, so that is going to be the number one thing. If you're taking notes right now, you want to write this down. Number 1, you want to learn it all. Learn it all. So, I've had a lot of companies, who, for whatever reason, they've got their different type of sales process, or they've got, whatever they do. Maybe they don't take incoming calls. You got a B2B guy, B2B sales guy, and he's in the program. He's like, well, I don't take incoming calls. Dude, do the training. There's so much good data in there about that. If you could understand all angles of the call, would you want to do that? So you want to really understand all dynamics of this. Grant put together the perfect product. This is the perfect product. It's not a book. This is the perfect product to become a master salesperson. To get to the top 1% of all income earners in your industry, this is how you do it. So we've seen it time and time and time again of people do it. Like, this is not something, like, we're to the point now where we've had enough people do it that I can say it's this way. This is what works, right? So I've done it. We've had a lot of other folks do it. And I can show you tons of our clients where they have 1 or 2 people in the company who do the 6 segments every day. They do it for like a year or 2, and all of a sudden, guy went from making $50,000 a year to now he's making $350. That's a difference. That makes a big difference, right? So you guys really want to think about, hey, how good am I getting? And when you go to the program, I want to show this to you. So John, if you just pulled this up on the screen here, if you guys notice, we've got the program laid out in the right order. Now, when you think about learning it all, you want to learn to know. If you're taking notes, write this down. Learn to know. Learn to know it. If you're just watching videos, if you're just check marking the box, you're not going to get it. But you want to go left to right, top to bottom inside this program. So 6 segments every single day. When you go in there to learn to know, you want to pay attention as you're watching the videos. You want to watch the videos. You want to take notes and actually focus on it like, dude, this video's got $1 million in there for me. So if you treat every video like, hey, this one video has $1 million worth of information for me. I went through a whole program the other day. I went through the whole deal. And I got through and I seen one video and I said, dude, that one thing right there is worth $1 million to me. Are you thinking like that? Are you that interested, or do you even think those possibilities exist? If you don't think they exist, then you're not going to get what you want. So you want to learn it all. Don't skip over stuff. It's all set up in the right order for you to learn. Just like if you guys go to college, they're going to have it set up freshman, sophomore, junior, senior year. So as good as you may feel that you are, I would tell you that you're going to get more by learning the basics and the fundamentals all the way up through everything that Grant laid out. He laid it out in the right order that would be best for you to learn. So you're going to make a bigger opportunity of learning and skill set building that if you do it at the right order, than if you just bounce around and jump all over the place, okay? Because then you just get down to check marking the box that you're doing it. So I know we got a couple callers. If you guys want to call in, 305-865-8668, dial in. And I know we've got like 4 or 5 people on. So I'll go ahead and, first caller.
We got Desmond from Toronto.
Nice. Desmond in Toronto. How's it going?
Doing awesome, my friend. How are you?
Dude, I'm doing amazing, man. What type of business are you in?
We're in the insurance business.
Dude, I love that, man. It's good business to make a lot of money. Build up a good book of business. What can I help you out with this week?
So I'm just joining in, but I think it was one we were talking about the training.
Yes. Yep. Oh, so you were just dialing in just to check it out?
Yeah.
Nice. Let me ask you this, man. What's the hardest part of your job?
Getting clients, my friend.
Nice. And are you prospecting, or like how do you get clients now?
So I do a little bit. I manage a sales team of home and auto and life advisors. So part of the training that I do, I try to instill it in them and help them do the prospecting and then try to close the deal that way. But that's the biggest issue within our industry is that.
Nice. So what I would do, thanks for that. He talked about prospecting. And so what I would do, so number 2, we'll jump. This brings me up to the next thing. So correct and solve problems is going to be the next thing that you want to use Cardone University for. So the way that you want to do this, number 2, so number 1, you want to learn it all, right? You want to learn it all. You want to do it daily. Those are the notes on it. Do it daily. Okay, you want to do it consistently. Okay, don't do 30 minutes one day and then 12 minutes the next day. Man, you want to just literally rack up the same amount of time every day. Build the muscle. You should be doing like 20 to 30 minutes every single day, every single morning. That would be the most ideal thing. Then let's drop down to the second. So number 2. So tip number 2 is going to be this: correct and solve problems. Okay, this is really going to be a good thing for this gentleman right here, especially because it sounded like he was a manager. You can do this as a group. So if you're doing this as a group, this is what we do in my office. We focus on the same training as a group because we have got to work it out. We want to work out the information. I may hear one thing, and remember, like everything that I know up until this point, like my understanding of sales, the customer, the industry, it is different than maybe another guy who starts here who's maybe only been here for 3 years. And that's different than a guy who started 3 months ago. So when we all work together, and we start really working this out, we're like, man, we watched the video, but like, what did you get from it? Because you're just going to hear the things that you agree with first. You're going to hear something in the video and you're going to be like, you're going to like lock on to one idea. It could be a 4-minute video. You're going to lock on to one idea. The other guys may lock on to something that you could have just like spaced out on. So what you want to focus on is one topic. Now, correct and solve problems. That's 2 things. You're going to show my site here. This guy talked about, hey, we're focused on getting business. Well, the number 1 place that you would want to do this, because there's a couple places you could do it. Number 1, you could do prospecting. This is set up for a warm lead. Follow up. You can follow up anybody that's hot. You're ready. You should be doing both those every single day. You could actually start doing cold calls. You know, these things are all set up, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on prospecting. I like this one. I think some of the most important content's in here. When you go into this part of the program, now for this gentleman right here, when he's looking to correct and solve problems, I said, hey, what's the hardest part of your job right now? And he's like, hey, look, us getting new leads, new business, right? So, man, I would start with my warm leads first. I would start with the people that we already do business with. I'd go to the people that know us, people that we service, people that we've demoed before, people that we've talked to. I would start with that group, but how do you make the call? How do you build the list? That's what that whole program is about. What's the call sound like? What are you going to run into on the call? That way you guys aren't just shooting from the hip. If you guys are just shooting from the hip every time, you're like, every time you pick up the phone, it's a follow-up call. You got a prospecting call. Dude, you guys are guessing. You're not making the type of money you should be making. I'm telling you right now, I've done it from experience. When I guessed, I was broke. When I was certain about what I was doing, I'm making money. I'm making bank. This is where the difference should be set around what you guys are focused on. So correction and solving problems. So focus on this category for a whole week where there's 30 courses. You can do 6 segments. It's 5 days. You guys are good to go on prospecting. Study that every day. And then in the morning, you want to actually discuss it with each other. What'd you get out of the video? Spend 10 minutes doing this. What was your biggest high point? What'd that mean to you? How can we use this in our process? When was the last time you used that with somebody? So that is going to stir up the information to get you to a place where you fully understand it. So the 2 things we've covered right now, we've talked about learn it all and correct and solve problems. I'm going to come back and handle this correction thing, and I'm going to take one of our callers.
Perfect. We have Eric from New York.
Nice. Eric, what's happening?
What's up? What's up?
Man, how are you? What type of business are you in?
I am in. Oh, hey, I'm part of that live thing. I'm in electronic component sales, my man.
Dude, I love that. I love it, man. What's the hardest part of your job?
Hardest part of my job is going to be getting my team, which I have, to role play, to buy into making a script, to buy into writing down objections in a notebook and putting it all together and seeing that this is an art form, So it's basically I'm selling. I got to sell myself. I got to sell my people, Not so much the newer people, but the people who've been here a while who think that experience brings them something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, terrible. Those people are the worst because they're the most confused. Okay?
Yeah, I know.
I see it
because,
all the time.
You know what? I hear you. I'm listening to you, but you're absolutely right,
Yeah, and so those guys, what happens, man, is that they need to wake up to what their potential is. So
yes.
I'm pretty sure I know what company you're calling. You're from Smith, right?
That's right, man.
Yeah, dude. Take a look at the gap between where you're at and where the top guy is. And I would tell the top guy that, hey, dude, what you did last year is short of what you should have done, and he knows it. I talked to him. I spoke to him at your guys' event. He was like, dude, I should have done more than that, right? And so, and he knows. But those are the people that continue to go up because they know that, hey, look, man, I got to come back here to figure out how do I keep getting better. How do I keep working? If I don't know everything, if I don't have $10 million in my bank account, then there's some indicators that is an indicator that, hey, there's probably some things I could get better at, right? So you're making a lot of great points. And what I would tell you to do, so number 3, you called it out already. Number 3 is to role play. And in order to role play, you guys have got to have a script. Now, you said something like having my people write a script. Is that what that was?
Or have Grant help them write a script, using a script tool.
I'll write it for you. Guys. So the way that you want to do it is this. You guys go into Master the Cold Call right here. Master the Cold Call is already set up. Now, this is, you guys are cold calling who? Like IBM and...
Sure. If you have a computer on your desk and there's a name on it, we're calling them too,
Yep. Now, here's what I want you to do, right? If you go into cold call process, now remember, if you go back to the board over here, if you go back to my board, the number 1 thing was to learn it all. This is probably the biggest thing I see people do. They want to skip right to they go to cold call and they're like, well, what's the script? Let me go to the script. Let me go to the objection handling. Well, they miss everything all the way up front where Grant explains all the basic stuff that you need to know. And so I would tell you when we look at this that number 1, learn it all. But let's go into cold call process because we're really kind of solving a problem right now. It's a really great point, man. So when we go in here, now you got to identify what the call is. There is the greeting, the big claim, qualifying, close. If you guys go to this last one right here, you can download the cold call script and it just says, hey, here's the structure. This is the bones of the actual cold call. So have you guys printed this out yet?
No, I don't know if we did it office-wide or even, there's many offices in throughout America, throughout other. So I don't know if they printed it out. So my answer is probably no.
Oh, okay. So this is good, but this is really more of like a place to start. So if you notice, and when you go through the training, you'll understand it because some of this doesn't all the way make sense because it's more of just talking about the question itself. Like, do you qualify, right? Like It's that like Grant goes over the questions to ask in the video. Like I'm not gonna ask somebody, hey, do you qualify, right? So this is the kind of the bones of it. The training is all the way throughout the actual content itself right here in the cold call process that I'm showing. So when you guys look at that, Grant's gonna break it all the way down. You guys should focus on all of these areas to find out what's my greeting like. So if you know anything about a cold call, you get a couple seconds in a cold call to either catch somebody's attention or to get hung up on. And so you gotta have all these little spots in play to sell them on taking a couple minutes to hear you out. And that's what that
you got to have a hook, as Grant says. You know what I'm saying? I hear you.
Yeah.
And if you don't have any script, then you're not going to be able to have someone role play with you because you're not going to be able to, you know, jam something in there where I could step over lightly and come up with something else so that you won't have the objection. So it's a lot of work for people who haven't done it, you know, to get started. So that might be the objection. So they would say, hey, this is too hard to do, or Grant doesn't really apply to us. When in fact, if we do, we could make you know, great gains with this. You know.
Oh, huge gains.
Especially for people coming up who have no structure. You know, to be able to step over 3 or 4 objections, the people who we're selling to, they wouldn't even know how to stop that. You know.
That's right.
And I don't even mean it in a hard and fast sell way. I just mean it in a way of just answering objections would probably lead to whatever we're looking for, the next part of our sales process, you know?
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's not a hard sell. Like, you guys are selling a great product to people that already buy it. Like, you're just trying to become, like, why you? You're just trying to get your foot in the door. Like, this is communication skills. How to get in front of people, how to communicate with them. Like, they didn't learn this in school. They didn't learn it in college. This is where Grant broke it down and said, hey, you guys want a cold call? You guys want to get your great product into the hands of other companies who are busy and have other people calling them? This is how you do it. So you make a lot of great points, man. Thanks so much for that. Well, hey, we'll set you guys up a script. I'm gonna send it. What's your name? Did he go? Yeah. I'll catch him. I know what office he's from. So that guy made a lot of great points. Like that guy right there, he knows what he's doing. Like he's interested. And he's showing up on the call because he's saying, hey, listen, man, I want to get better. I want to make an opportunity. I want to do really well. And for those of you out there, like this is what the program is about. It is about, hey, how do I start building my skill level? Because like for me personally, I don't know it all. I had to understand that I don't know it all. And then that was what got me to a place. Like I just didn't want to be like the people that I was around. I was like in sales. I was with a team and I was like, man, like these guys are just kind of like, they're not going after it. I didn't want to do that. Like I wanted to go after it, right? That's how I found Grant Cardone. And once I found him, I was like, whoa, this guy's saying something totally different. This guy's talking about 10X. This guy's trying to go insane right now. I'm like, dude, I like that because I feel like I'm the only guy doing that. Well, the company that I was in before I got here, I started studying Grant stuff. I went from the second to last salesperson in the whole company to the #1 salesperson there. So it was a big jump. You know, there were 17 people on a team, and I go from number 16 to first. So it showed me the first time that, dude, you can get better, which meant I was in control of my success, which meant that I wasn't left up to the economy or nobody's buying our products or, oh, you know what, like, you know, it's just not a good time of year. We're seasonal. Dude, take your seasonal stuff out of here. I hear that from people all the time. If you think you're seasonal, then you need to get realistic about what you're doing. Like, you need to find out, hey, how do I not be seasonal? Everybody else is seasonal. How do I not be seasonal, right? So this is the way you guys got to think, which is why you got to be doing training every day. If you're not, you're going to be hearing all the other garbage everybody else is talking about. So, you know, this is where Grant is like your way to like fight against any type of average that you have. So one thing that I would actually focus on too, I would tell you a couple other strategies would be to add some motivational content in every single day. Motivation and strategy are two totally different things. 100 ways to stay motivated. If you watch these videos only one time, you're doing yourself a disfavor. I would tell you, look, think about watching these videos every single day for the rest of your life. You know, go into the potential videos. How many of these could you watch this morning and it would have made a difference for the way you thought today? What about personal development? Like reselling yourself on, hey, how do I continue to develop myself? What about time management? Everybody always talks about, man, well, I could be better with time. And everybody could be better with this, but how well are you using the material Grant wrote in here? So, I'm going to come back to that. I'm going to hit on a couple of those. I'm going to take a couple callers.
Perfect. We have Anthony from, we have Jacoby from Houston.
Nice. Jacoby, what's happening?
Hey, brother, how you doing?
Man, I'm doing amazing. What can I help you out with this week?
Yeah, man. So I started a credit restoration company, and I just got started, and I was working with another company, but I learned how to do it myself. And the problem that I'm having is I post, basically, I do free credit consultations and audits for people to get them in the door, show them their problems. But we're having trouble getting their pain points, and I guess I've been learning how to close and everything, but I think it's the process before that I'm struggling with, like the pain points and getting them to get started.
Yeah, great. So this is this is a great question, man. Thank you for this. So like number 2 right here, it says correct and solve problems. So this guy says, hey, I'm pretty decent at closing the deal. I get it. I actually know a lot of people who are really good at closing, and they're awful at basically setting the table up to close. And so Grant has put together incredible content. I'm going to show it to you here. If you go to sales process, Grant actually talks about these categories here. Now, I know a lot of people, a lot of companies I've talked to that have been in our program, and they go in and they're like, oh, I'm good on the greeting. I'm good on objections in the greeting. I'm good on fact finding. Man, I'm telling you, like, some of the most valuable, and Jacoby's right on it. He's like, hey, man, I'm going back because there's something I'm missing at the beginning. So this guy, he's interested in like, hey, what is tripping me up? And so this is really one of the hardest things, like confronting what you're not good at. Well, Grant's strategy since day one has been, hey, let's put the buyer at ease and find out how we do that so we can get to this stage where we fact find. So this is something Grant's been talking about for a long time, where putting the customer at ease at the beginning, like for you cold callers out there, you're calling somebody up. They didn't expect to buy from you or talk to you or be pitched, and all of a sudden you want them to like unload information on you. If you don't know how to put the customer at ease, you're never going to get there. So then you flunk on the cold call, and then maybe you think, oh, wow, cold calling doesn't work. So when I know that it does work. So even for Jacoby right here, this guy's got a great question. He's like, hey, I'm getting people closing. I can close, but that's not the issue. How do I get the information I'm looking for first? So this is a really great point. Anytime you guys are having trouble, go back and find like, hey, where does it break down? And maybe look right before that. So here we are in the objections in the greeting. So Jacoby, when you ask these questions, do you have a set of fact-finding questions that you ask?
I pretty much ask them, once they tell me basically, because how I set it up, if they're someone I just met, something like that, I ask them, I say, hey, who do you know? I just hit them, who do you know that has less than an 800 credit score? And then 9 out of 10, they're going to say me. And I say, well, fantastic. What is it that's basically hurting you right now? What's on your credit file? They tell me. I tell them, how long have you been trying to get rid of this thing? And I basically show them, how it's kind of hurting them. And then after that, I show them the program as well. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, so you just got to know like where you're at in the cycle, and where you're at is almost in like the cold call or the cold prospect time, right? So like these people, they didn't expect to get pitched by you, but because your hook was so good, they were like, hey, that's me. And now all of a sudden they're in a sales process. So you might need to, really ease into that a little bit so that way you can start getting the answers that you want. So what I might think with is maybe dropping some big claims about, hey, here's what I do. So if you think about where you're at in the stage, like if it's the colder part up here, we're like fact finding, the presentation, these things are kind of coming around here. If I'm up in this area, at this like 1 o'clock area, I'm more of like big claims, more like big picture stuff. So hey, what I would tell them is, dude, I actually master getting people to 800 credit scores, no matter how bad it is. Could be 400, 500, 600. I get them to 800. For you, though, what's holding you back right now from having a good credit score? And that's where you get that question answered, right? Oh, yeah, I got this one thing on my file. Yeah, excellent. So have you ever attempted, what I would start doing is moving into how they've tried to handle this, not handled it, and then what you really need to like walk this into is the future. Why would they need to handle it? Because when you can do like a fact-finding type of, more of like identifying how people have bought before, like why they would buy type thing, that leads you into, oh wow, let me tell you about what I do. So I gotta ask these right questions. I'm gonna drop the big claim. So big claim right here of like, dude, I'm the guy who gets people to 800. So I've had people test me on this. I get them to 800 every single time. Okay, what's holding you back from having good credit score right now? Oh, well, you know what? I got blah, 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 blah happened. Okay, excellent. Have you ever tried to handle that? For the future, are you going to be trying to get a condo, a house, a car, any reason why you would need to handle it? Or are you good having a bad credit score? You know, because what happens is you start identifying people's, what Grant calls DBM. This is a dominant buying motive. This is the key to the whole deal. If you can identify somebody's dominant buying motive, like especially you cold callers, like you should know why somebody would buy from you, and that's what you drop in your big claim. Like I want to get an 800 credit score, and I have an 800 credit score, but dude, it doesn't do anything for me. Like I don't even care about it. I wake up in the morning and I'm not like brushing my teeth and like, dude, I got an 800 score. Like it doesn't change my living, right? It changes because of something I want to do. Like when I want to go buy something, I get favorable terms and interest rates and things like that because I have the 800 credit score, right? So you got to think about, dude, what do they really want to do? Why would they want to have an 800 credit score? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, so when you go to the sales process, this is where you got to look at the whole sales process right here. And Grant's going to break down the fact finding. Getting to a dominant buying motive is going to be the key right here. What questions? Identifying how people buy, how they buy things, how they've bought things in the past, what they're going to do in the future. Because what happens is, dude, if they don't know why they need an 800 credit score, there's no way they're going to give you money to get them to an 800. Because they can go on without it. They're living right now without it right now. They didn't even know you were going to show up, and here you are. You know?
Wow, that's awesome. And so right now, I'm doing a presentation for a luxurious apartment complex. And so should I use the same fact-finding questions and everything in that?
Yeah, so big claim is one thing. A big claim would be like, and I'm not sure what you're trying to pitch these guys. Let me ask you, what are you trying to pitch them anyways? What are you trying to pitch a condo on credit score help?
So it's for their tenants. So basically, I'm gonna educate them on why credit is important and see where they at, and then at the end, like you said, introduce them to the service. Yeah,
so you want to think about, so this is a great point. If you go to my, so now you're talking about, so yes, the answer is yes, you do want to ask all those questions. Let me step into something real quick in presentation. This is super, super, super important for everybody listening right now. Grant dives deep into feature, advantage, benefit. This is an unbelievable training inside the presentation. And I can't tell you how often I hear presentations where people totally miss this feature, advantage, benefit, right? So like this is in everything, especially B2B sales. I see it all the time. I see it in everything, actually. But for you, so what's your feature? You can help people get to an 800 credit score?
Yes, sir.
All right. So you guys got to do this exercise, man. You guys need to all do this at home right now. You guys need to be doing this with your products. You need to be doing it all the time because this is going to help you pitch better. This is an exercise that we do all the time here. So we got an 800 credit score, but what's the advantage of me having an 800 credit score?
You can man, you can get approved for basically any loan, whether that's auto loan, home loan. If you want to start a business, you can get a business loan, and that's pretty much. Oh, you can also get. You don't have to worry about the job denying you, so you can basically walk into,
Yeah, so there's a lot. There's a lot, right? Like there's a lot just on advantages just from having an 800 credit score. But what's one of them? What's one that you like? What's one that you feel good is like just the one thing that you talk about? What's an advantage? Advantage.
I like that I can basically get a credit line, a line of credit, and really invest into business.
Got it. Okay, good. So that's for you, right? And obviously there's a lot of them, and you got to know your audience of who you're pitching. So feature is 800, credit score, or I'm sorry, advantage would be that I can get a credit line, but what is the actual benefit of me being able to have an 800 credit score, being able to get a credit line?
Well, you don't have to use your money to begin with,
because you don't have any money in the first place. Exactly, right?
That's right.
And how are you gonna grow your business without the credit line? So the benefit is that you actually get to scale your business in a way that you're not doing it right now.
Correct.
Right? So this is how, like, if you guys want to figure out, hey, how do I create a pitch or a big claim? You need to just do this exercise right here. Now, you can do this exercise all day long, and I will tell you, let me finish that. People never buy the feature. I want you to do this exercise at your house. Like, I sell a sales training program. People do not want to train. Trust me. Okay? This is not a feature that they like. What they do like, though, is that it gives them the edge as a salesperson, which as a benefit helps them make more money. They're like, whoa, so I got to make more money. So all of a sudden they like sales training. They're like, whoa, no, I like that. Man, so you're telling me that if I do more training, I get more money, right? So you guys got to think about that. People will always buy the benefit, but you got to tie these in. So this is one stable piece of information that you need to have locked down. Never present a feature without giving the advantage and the benefit. Because if you do, okay, say, have me walk into like you're getting ready to go pitch that big group on the condos, walk into that one group, hey man, I'm gonna get everybody 800 credit scores. Okay, and then see how interested they are, okay? They're not gonna care at all, right? They're actually gonna be like, why are we here? Okay, and then they're gonna go, but if you go, hey dude, we can get everybody 800 credit scores so that way we can actually get them approved, which allows you guys to hit your numbers and occupy the condos. Get all the way to the end of the deal so that way they can get locked in on, hey, why would we actually want to do that in the first place? That's how you set up a pitch. And you tie this whole thing, you tie the whole feature advantage benefit. If you want to show my screen real quick. So if you're looking for the dominant buying motive in fact finding right here, hey, why would you do this? What are you going to do in the future? How can I help you out? What problems do I solve? All these different things that you'll find in fact finding, the dominant buying motive. You tie your presentation and every solution in your presentation, every benefit in your presentation should solve this one problem in the DBM. Okay, so man, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for calling in on that. Yeah, you got it, man. So guys, look, there's a lot in this program. I mean, I could just sit here and talk to you guys about this all day long about all the different things, but the way that you're going to get really locked in on understanding it, because you really want to learn to understand and learn to know. If you don't understand it and know it, and if you just sat back in your computer and you're like, wow, you know what? Man, when was the last time I did a feature advantage benefit drill with my product? When was the last time I actually even pitched a feature advantage benefit? Or when was the last time I worked with a script? And if you're sitting back and you're thinking that, I'm telling you right now, like the opportunity is in front of you. The only reason you're on this call is because you have access to Cardone University. So I'll take another. They drop off. They still on there? Yeah. You got another caller?
Oh no.
Oh, they dropped off. Okay, cool. So the way that you guys want to do this is make sure that you guys are digging in every single day. So number one, learn it all. Learn it all and learn it in the right order. You know, if I use this example all the time. You know, if I was in school and I was like, hey guys, let me take that chemistry class, you know, let me fire that up, and I hadn't taken any type of basic science or really even understood anything, they probably wouldn't let me in. That's why I don't have third graders doing chemistry. Okay? that would set fires, right? So I want you to think about that. Learning in the right order. If you guys are jumping to the advanced stuff, you're doing yourself a disfavor. I'm telling you. So learn it in the correct order. Get there because you will need to get there. But do everything else that Grant's talking about that leads all the way up to that. So learn it all. And then come back to the program for correction. So this gentleman that just called up, man, this is probably my favorite caller. This guy called up. He said, hey, got an issue. Here's what's happening. Now, for him, what he would want to do is he literally could go back right now and go study the 7 videos inside fact finding to find out, hey, am I getting all the right questions in place? Am I forgetting about any questions? Is there anything that I'm not doing right now? Like, this is how a real professional would operate. A real professional would actually come back and really study their craft and figure out, hey, how do I really take this thing to the next level? An amateur is just going to shoot from the hip. An amateur is going to be a veteran sales guy at a company, you know, he made the same money this year as he did last year and the year before, and maybe he went up a little bit. Dude, that guy's an amateur. I don't care how much money he's making. And I will tell him that because he's operating like an amateur, and if he were to just shift what he was doing into, now all of a sudden I'm operating like a professional, you would actually start to see your graphs go up, your sales go up, your income go up. And if you're on this call right now and you're even listening to me, then I imagine that you're probably a great person. You with more money and more success is a good thing for this planet. We probably need you on the right end of this versus you on the failing end, because you with more opportunity helps a lot more people. So you can't do that if you're not always getting better. Cardone University is the tool to do that. And then finally, third, role play. You guys need to role play every single day. And I get this question all the time because I have people who are like, man, I don't have anybody to role play with. When I first came to work for Grant, there wasn't anybody here. There wasn't anybody to role play with. So Grant was like, hey, sit against the wall and role play with the wall. And here I am on my first day. I got my nose up against the wall and I'm sitting here pitching the wall. And I'm like, dude, what did I get myself into? Okay. I mean, it was literally unbelievable because I had never done it before. Okay. And I still do that all the time. I always, I'll be pitching myself all the time because that worked for me. It was weird at first. Okay. It was awkward. Okay. I'm like, man, are other people like looking at me like I'm an idiot? Dude, no. Like, that is how I got good, because I practiced, I drilled, I rehearsed, because I'm not just doing the inflow. If you're just watching videos and you're not outflowing the information and practicing it and drilling it and putting yourself in scenarios, you're leaving a lot on the table. And so role play by yourself. Take your phone out, record yourself, and then play it back and listen to it and be honest with yourself. When I really got honest with myself, I remember, I still to this day, I'll watch myself and I'm like, that's unbelievable. I can't believe I literally sound like that. Some other people might be like, dude, that's amazing. But for me, I critique myself hard. I'm like, man, I can't believe I missed that part. But I never know until I actually go back to see it or hear it or listen to it. So if you're not role playing, you're missing a lot of opportunity. And then if you do have the opportunity to role play with somebody else, that is best case scenario. I would ask them before you get started, hey, please be real with me. Tell me, like, flunk me. Tell me, flunk, if there's any communication lags. If I'm like, if I do that, dude, flunk, let's start over. And you would want to start back over at the exact same position, the same thing. You don't want to do price too high and then switch to payments are too high and then switch to I got to think about it. You'll never get good at one thing. Like, I role played the exact same phone call every single day for a year and a half. We never changed it. I just role played the same thing every single day, over and over and over and over again. And like, I mean, I could recite that whole thing. By the time I got onto a phone call, I was so good at it because I could just flow with it. I knew it. I studied to know. That is the difference. Okay, so listen, guys, thanks for showing up here every Wednesday. We love having you guys on this mastermind. If you guys ever want to call in, you guys just drop in any questions that you have. Really appreciate you guys showing up. We're going to be back here next Wednesday, as we always are. If you guys have any topics that you want us to cover, if you guys, man, I'd love to have a whole show where if you guys just called me up and pitched me on cold calls. Yeah, we should just do that. We should just send that out.
Call it for next week.
Yeah, hey, yeah, we can do that next week. You guys want next week? If you guys want to call, pitch me, we'll just critique pitches all week long, all day long, the whole time. Okay, we'll just role play. That's all we'll do. So I love that idea. I think a lot of people love it. So we'll put that up, and we'll see you guys back here next Wednesday on the Cardone University Mastermind.